It's that time of the year. 2022 is almost over, and as a person who helped discover and name a couple of popular design trends, many people are asking me what are my predictions for 2023. Well, you've come to the right place. Let's start with motion design. Motion design is huge and can be found everywhere, from micro interactions, small transitions, all the way to really huge animations on websites and in mobile apps. UI is no longer a static thing. People expect it to live and breathe and to be more interesting. That's because TikTok, Instagram and other apps deliver constant motion that keep people engaged on a daily basis. Our attention span drops lower and lower. Some people even say that it's at a level of a goldfish, and I believe that it can actually be lower than that. To keep the users involved and engaged, we need to add a little bit of motion to the static screens to make them more immersive and more fun. If you use Duolingo, you can clearly see that the recent update includes more animated illustrations and screen transition effects. Most of the UI components are now interacting with the user through animation. When talking about motion, it's impossible not to mention the parallax effect. Parallax is basically a couple of different image layers moving at different speeds to give the perceived illusion of real life. It's usually done while scrolling a website or an app, and it's really pleasing to see. People just love it. It uses the simple foundation of moving the closest element faster than the one in the back. That is exactly how it happens in real life when you're driving and seeing a nice mountain range in the background, and you see that the road is moving much faster than the mountains. Another trend is really complex and mind-blowingly beautiful animations. Most of them are done in code in libraries like GSAP, but obviously somebody has to design them first. And this is where you come in. I strongly believe that animation skills are going to be the next big thing in UI design, and yeah, you should start learning to animate right about now. Over the years, our design style evolved a bit. I noticed how my company went from those colorful soft gradients or even skeuomorphism at the very beginnings towards something really clean and minimal. Because yeah, a clean minimal design, it's something that can never go wrong, it's f***ing timeless. In the end, you don't really need to follow every new design trend to create a modern digital product. Staying on top of trends can be overwhelming, so learn the fundamentals first and then you can apply them or mix them with different trends. I talk about it in many of my videos and in many of my courses, including the most recent Boring UI course. Aurora gradients, yes, they are still in, and they're still in big time. Mesh gradients, abstract gradient forms and shapes, gradients on buttons, cards, or colorful, vibrant splashes used in backgrounds mixed with parallax effects. That trend is still going strong. Another popular thing is adding a gradient on text. Just don't add it to your body copy, because that's gonna make it unreadable and ugly. And not to all the text, just use it on your fat juicy headers and only on a word or two to accentuate and highlight it. Now let's talk about high contrast monochrome design. You don't need to go subtle. You can sometimes mix and match really strong contrasting backgrounds. Black, white, white, black, deep blue, black again, and it's completely fine if it's done right. The reason for that is something I mentioned earlier. Our focus and our attention span are pretty low, so we need those flashing, contrasting backgrounds to keep us engaged and motivated. Kind of like me moving the camera right now, because obviously you need some movement for the video to be interesting. It can also make the video more accessible through higher contrast, but don't go too high with the contrast, or you can cause some eye strain. Dark, futuristic, cosmic UI. I think dark UIs evolved into something a bit more interesting and complex than just a dark mode. More and more brands are switching to a dark version of their main website or their app as the main one. It may be easier to catch and grab the user's attention on a dark mode website, especially if it comes with really nice animation and stunning visuals. It can create a nice futuristic and sometimes even cosmic looking vibe, and now with the exploration of space, it can be pretty fun. Real-life materials. We already have glass morphism, clay morphism, and every possible morphism you can think of. Crystals and pearl-like looking elements are becoming a thing now too. But you know what? We can put it all under real-life imitation. We don't really need to create a pearl morphism anymore. Skeuomorphism of some kind comes back every 7 to 8 years when people get bored with the flat design. And we're at the stage right now. It's important to note though that glassmorphism is still huge. You can find glassmorphic elements everywhere. Navbars, dashboards, cards, whole website section, you name it. Huge typography. Huge typography is another strong trend. It's mostly used on websites or landing pages because of having more screen real estate. It helps to achieve that brutalist, minimal vibe without going too far into the brutalist areas. It's often paired with full screen photos and impressive animations. Sans serif geometric typography is not going anywhere, and it's always going to be the best choice for modern interfaces. There are so many places to get nice free fonts and not use the same small set all the time, it's mind-blowing. From free sources like Google Fonts or FontShare to many amazing premium font families like Gilroy, Circular Standard, Mont, Axiforma, Nexa, Galano, and many others. This year, I encourage you to invest in some of the paid fonts because that can make your design truly shine. It's completely worth the money. Neue Brutalism is here, but so is vintage retro waves, 80s, 90s style, and many others. They're actually very similar to each other, and they're all relying on that little nostalgia that we feel for the days of the old. While they can definitely turn some heads, they're a little bit of a form over function kind of deal. At the same time, it's refreshing and really nice to see something unique and completely different from time to time. Many brands that decided to switch to brutalist styles this year actually failed miserably and received horrible reviews from their users. Figma and Gumroad are the popular exceptions to this rule. Yes, their designs are pretty great in their own style. It doesn't fit all the products, and I often see people try it and fail miserably. The most recent The Verge redesign is a prime example of that. Due to high contrast, crazy typography, and pretty odd layout choices, they lost about 1 million users in the first month since the redesign launched. So yeah, those vintage retro styles are difficult to pull off, only work on some products, and I generally don't recommend putting too much attention into them. This trends list is based on the amazing work Diane did with her Medium article. She did most of the research and I added some of my conclusions to the mix. What's different about this year is that we didn't look at fake dribble designs or Behance shots. No, we looked at actual coded working websites and apps. And all the examples that I've shown you throughout this video are links that you can go and explore yourself. I'm gonna link Diane's beautiful article on these design trends in the description of this video, and you can find all the links there. So what's your favorite trend for 2023? Let me know in the comments, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, check out my courses and books, and obviously, have a beautiful day.